My hair. What's happening here? Hello, hello. Hopefully you're having an amazing day and a very productive day, and you are looking forward to Christmas and the new year, and that you have got lots of traction in your business and you're looking forward to having an amazing start to 2020. So what I wanted to do today, first off, I want to do a quick recap. And I know that the Christmas period can be a bit of a whirlwind, but this is a recap to start your new year fresh. And on my whiteboard behind me, I've got some things to recap on that you should be nailing by now, or be well and truly on your way to nailing. And also some new stuff, some things that I'd like you to focus on for your start back in 2020. So let's get started. The first thing that I wanted to bring to your attention are these 4 areas. Messy handwriting, I know. But these are the 4 areas that you should have a really good grasp on by now. The first one is your numbers, your KPIs. So by now, every single week, you should be looking at how much you turn over, how many retail units and the dollar value, your average client spend, new clients and lost clients, and making meaningful contact with your new and lost. You should be tracking your rebooking. You should be tracking your focus area. What is the part of your beauty or hair salon that you really want to focus on? Is it treatments? Is it Olaplex? Is it hair extensions? Is it nails? Is it facial treatments? Is it all of the above? What is it that you're tracking every single week? Not only you need to know your numbers and your KPIs, your team need to know them as well. And that brings me on to my next thing. You need to have booked in and be having weekly one-on-one meetings with each team member to have a look at the figures, all the KPIs, to be setting those little micro goals with them and be focusing on where it is that they need to grow and be celebrating what they're doing really well. You should be working on and in your business. One of the first things that we did in Mastermind was to focus on where you're spending your time. So you need to have delegated time every single week where you're working on your business and in your business, and that you don't stray from that plan. When you're working on your business, you will be looking at marketing. You'll be planning your one-on-one meetings and looking at your figures. You'll be looking at your map to action and reviewing your goals. What are you progressing on? What is it that you need to stop doing? What is it that you need to start doing? So really taking that time to reflect on, what did I do last week? What am I going to do this week? The last one is retail systems. That's what we've spoken about most recently, which leads us into the session today. What is it that you have created a system for that you're nailing? So if you own a beauty salon, we've asked you to pick one area of focus. So maybe just brows, maybe just post-waxing, where you create a system and you just focus on that system. So it could be after your brow waxing, the system to recommend retail is to fill the brows in with a pencil or a palette and then ask the client if they'd like to buy it. And for the hair salon owners out there, placing the styling products in front of them, telling something about it, showing the client where they need to use that product in their hair, and asking them, do you need any products to style your hair with at home today? So keeping it really simple. You should have one retail system under your belt. The reason why we work on this first and then we work on what stops you, what holds you back, is because when we work on a retail system and when we start to get our team involved and when we really start to get involved with recommending to our clients, then all the blocks and limiting beliefs bubble up to the surface. And that's what we're talking about today. So what we're going to do today is we're going to work on this 6 inches of real estate in between your 2 ears, which is your brain and your mindset. And it's always one of the first places to start when it comes to recommending retail or suggesting services. Because if we didn't have anything holding us back, we would already have amazing retail sales in our salons and we could all improve. So what we need to work on is what do we feel like is stopping us from having the retail sales that we know we can have? We've broken it down into 5 categories, and these are the 5 main parent categories that we find pop up time and time again that stop hair and beauty professionals from recommending products in the first place. So what we want you to do is we want you to relay this information to your team. And we've attached in this follow-up email a sheet where you can work out, after you've explained this, which one of these categories, even if all of them apply to you and your team, what is stopping you from recommending, okay? So check out the attachment in the email. It's what are your 3 main top excuses and things that are holding you back in recommending retail? And then down the bottom is what are the solutions to the above 3? So what's stopping you and what are the solutions to that? So it gets you to start to self-analyze and critique. It's really amazing. So I want you to explain to the team, and I also want you to have a think now, which ones resonate with you. So if you've got a pen and paper, write them down as I'm speaking or just remember them. But the first thing that we find holds people back is the spend. People are really conscious that if they do a facial for $110, then to recommend a toner and a cleanser and a moisturizer and a serum and an eye cream, that could be a $500 service. So you start to back off when the spend gets higher. Or you're really conscious of that dollar value. Someone's coming in for a $21 eyebrow wax, and then to buy a palette on the top, that'll push the bill up to $50. That's an expensive 15 minutes. So you have a bit of a block around a certain number or a certain dollar value, or you feel uncomfortable around recommending things because of the expense being higher. Some beauty therapists hate when it gets over 100. Some hairdressers hate when it gets over 200. But for some reason, that dollar value makes you feel uncomfortable. When you go to read it out at the end of the appointment, you kind of feel a bit anxious. So that's number 1, and that one's really common. Number 2 is the systems or lack thereof. So if you have 5 on team, and if I was to go to each and every one of them today and say, what's your system for recommending a cleanser in a facial? What's your system for recommending aftercare for waxing? What would they say? Would they stumble through and say, oh, well, usually I do this and everyone's completely different? Or would they say, we actually have a system for that. It's out the back and it's a 4-step process. Would they be really clear? Would they know exactly what are the steps of the system and everyone's delivering it consistently? So too much of the time, the system's up here in your head and it changes. So the reason why we have systems is because we've mapped out the best process, the most successful, the easiest, the most efficient, the least pushy, the most effective. Everything is the easiest way possible. That's what a system does. So it could be that you're all free range chooks in your salon. You're all doing your own thing. So is it system that could be holding you back? Maybe. The no. So this is when you watch this training, you're really motivated, you're inspired, you're feeling really amazing. And you start to think, out of 10 people today, 5 said no. That's a lot. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Or maybe that even though you ask 25 people this week, would you like to take that serum with you today? 1 says no. No, I'm not taking that. That's too expensive. And you take that as gospel and it makes you feel uncomfortable. Regardless, you don't like hearing this word here, which is the no. Okay? So the fact is, there's going to be, in most salons, more people say no to you in a day than yes. That's reality. Your only job is to give them options. If you give them options, it's their choice to say yes or no. You're only after an answer. You're not after a yes. You're not after a no. You're just after an answer. So we need to let go of the fact that people are going to say no to us because that's reality. The fact that you've given them an option is doing your job. Number 4 is that we judge people. So we might judge that they're not prepared to spend. We might judge that we've done it a certain way for so many years and they're not going to like the change. We're going to judge because they've never bought an eyebrow pencil or a waxing aftercare. Why would they ever want a $350 Dermapen service? Why would they ever want to get their colour done with me? So we tend to judge people. It can be what their husband does for work, Could be what suburb they live in, how many kids they've got, and whether they work part-time or not at all. So we tend to form an opinion around what a client will say yes or what they will say no to. Where a client spends their money is completely up to them and none of your business. Our only job is to give them the option, okay? So this one can be a challenge, and if I had to admit to one of them, I used to do this. And it was usually based on, I've looked after my clients for such a long period of time. If they were going to buy, they would have already bought by now. So I'd form an opinion around where they would want to spend their money, which isn't up to me. Number 5 is common, and I think we can all admit to this one, which is we forget, we slip. So you can either honestly forget, and I can remember recommending a product to a client, putting it in the bag, putting it on reception, and then letting them leave, and I had to chase them with their retail bag down the street saying, you forgot your product, because I'm so involved in laughing and doing the process and putting the FPOS receipt on the spike, all that type of stuff, that you just get lost and you simply slip or you forget. So you can forget, or you can choose not to and use forgetting as an excuse. Oh, I forgot. Did you forget or did you choose not to? We have to be really honest with that one, okay? The answer to forgetting is accountability. If your team have been telling you for the past year, oh, just forget, I don't think it's forgetting. You need to keep them accountable. So when we start to recommend retail and we start to work on these systems, the accountability might need to be upped. Sometimes weekly one-on-ones aren't enough. We need to check in at the start of the day and the end of the day and say, how'd you go? Get excited. And remember, you make more friends with sugar than you do vinegar. So you don't want to be really shaming them. You just want to be checking in with them and saying, hey, how can I help you? How did you go today? And plan out their day. Set them up for success. So spend. It's not up to you how much a client's prepared to spend. Tell them the price, do it with conviction, and say it proudly. Show them what options are available. System. If you don't have a system, you need to start to write them out. A system can be as simple as just a picture of each step of the process, even without any words. Don't complicate it. If your system is more than an A4 page long, it's too much, it's too busy. Keep a dot point, keep it really clear, concise, and simple. Get each team member to sign off on it. Remember, a system takes the guesswork out of things and allows you to work autonomously, meaning that you can deliver a service with an anticipated response and it's consistent. The no. A yes is as good as a no is as good as a yes. I don't care. As long as you feel comfortable to give me the yes or give me the no. That's up to you. Judge. We need to stop putting our own opinions and own values onto other people. We like to claim that we're open-minded, but we're not. We do form opinions, and we do the same with recommending services as we do with retail, and we need to stop it. So being really self-aware and making your team self-aware is going to be a really important part of this. Number 5 is that we forget. You don't forget when you're kept accountable. So maybe the accountability needs to go up, and you need to flush out the BS that stops people from using this excuse. That, oops, I forgot, sorry, it's not good enough. You need to do your job. And showing clients what's possible is a part of the standard of your job. So what we want you to do and focus on for the next few weeks, and this is a big topic, remember, retail was enough of a topic for Lisa Conway to write a whole book on the topic. We want you to flesh out these, maybe even in the same way. Write it on a whiteboard. Get a chalk pen like this one here. Get a chalk pen and write it on one of your mirrors in the salon. 1 to 5, and explain this to your team. Give them the worksheet, which I might actually bring up now and explain to you. Give them the worksheet and find out what is it that's stopping you? What is it that's holding you back? What could you do differently? What could you do better? And really start this process on finding out what holds people back, and so that we can move forward from it. Now, you think I can find that document? Give me 2 minutes. it is. Sorry about that. Everything's always missing, isn't it? What are the 3 reasons that are holding you back in recommending retail? What are their top 3? So you know where to focus on, where you need to support them, and get them to fill out, write down the 3 solutions to the reasons above, so that they're self-monitoring and correcting, so they're not always relying on you. So print this out for yourself, print this out for your team, run them through the 5 most common mistakes that hold people back, and start to work on what is holding you back, what's stopping you. Remember, you should have your map to action together by now. You should have a clear idea of your numbers and KPIs. So should your team. You know this is the case when you test them. Ask them, what's your rebooking rate at? What did it used to be? You should have all your one-on-ones booked in for 2020. Every single week, same time, same place, every team member. Even if they're part-time, work 2 hours a week, doesn't matter. You need to have clear set times to work on your business and in your business. And number 4 is that you need to have retail systems put in place by now, even just one that you're absolutely nailing, as long as you get a return. So it's one of my pet peeves that you see this time of year all over social media. These are all the rubbish things that happened to me in 2019, and these are all the fantastic things that I'm going to achieve. Now, as soon as it ticks over midnight on the 31st of December, it doesn't mean that instantly everything that went wrong in your year in 2019 is going to be remedied. You're going to have to change things. And these are the things that are going to change, okay? These are the things that are going to move the needle the most in your business. So hopefully that was helpful. I know that that was helpful, but the difference is some people implement. So I really want you to focus on this and implement it. Print your worksheets out now, put them near the front door, put them in your car. So at the start of the year, you can work on this with your team. Let me know if you've got any questions, jump in the Boxer group. And remember, submit your figures. We always are a little bit flexible the last couple of weeks of the year, but at the start of the year 2020, we want you to submit your figures every single week so we can give you a critique. Enjoy, and I'll chat to you soon.